Hi, I'm Nick Mandolia. Today we're going to talk about service management in Infor CloudSuite Industrial. Many manufacturers today also have a component of service in their business, whether they do installations, repairs, warranties, or even preventive maintenance on their internal machines and equipment. CloudSuite Industrial has all of this integrated into their core ERP functionality. We're going to show some of the highlights of that here. Our focus for this discussion is going to be mainly on the incident to service order process. We'll talk a little bit more also about service contracts and rental contracts. We'll first look at unit maintenance and tracking. This is where we can take an actual serial numbered item that you may have shipped out and track the history of that, including the entire bill of material and replacements that have been made to that. We'll look at the call center support, where you might take calls from your customer to collect incidents and schedule some incident resolutions or convert them eventually to the service orders. So let's go ahead now into the live software and take a look at the process from incident to service order. I'm going to use my home page to use the menu items in here to flow through the demonstration to show the different topics that we want to cover. Starting with units and warranty, think of a unit as a serialized finished good that was shipped. That unit has a bill of materials that you've used to build, or even if you've purchased it, you can capture the bill of material in here. The purpose of the unit is to be able to record any incidents or create service orders to repair or fix or do service contract work against that unit. I can see if the unit is under warranty or not. That's all created at the unit item level, so we can define what those warranties are. The beauty of that is within the bill of material, you may warranty the finished good item with one particular warranty, yet some of the components within it, maybe they're vendor supplied, can have their own vendor warranties associated with those. So we track all of that throughout the life of that unit. Some of the important pieces of looking at a unit: owner history. We can track the changes in ownership if we wish to along the way, if that fits your business. We can see the service history that may have been done with this particular unit over time. In here I can see that there's been one service request order for this particular unit to replace a bent wheel. I can see all of the incidents that have been called in for it. Not all incidents have to be turned into a service request order. Perhaps they could be completed on the phone. We'll show some of that. We can see meter history. So if you're doing things based on time or miles or something like that as part of the warranty, to look at the unit configuration, here's my bill of material for that unit. I can explode that out and see all of the pieces that went into that unit. I can see the warranty. I can see it's active for this particular one and what the end date is. It's going to be expiring in February. I can also see that some of the items within that unit have their own warranty. This particular one has a different warranty than the main one because it's coming from my vendor. I have the ability to see anything that's been changed on this particular unit over time due to service orders. And it's going to highlight that for me so I can see that these wheels were replaced. I can see the install date and I can see the removal date. Next, we'll look at service contracts and rentals. A service contract could be used for predefined contracts for maintenance or repairs that you may have on your units. They could also be used for rentals. I can see the lines covered on the particular contract, and I can see any maintenance that is specified with that contract term. To view rentals, I'm just going to look at my service contract type of rental. As an example, I'm looking at this DZ4 service contract, and maybe I want to add some lines to that contract. I'm going to rent my BK 3690 Beach Cruiser and go and look and see what units I have available to rent. I can see I have 4 available, and here are those individual units. I can choose the one that I'm going to rent. I'll just choose that first one, unit number 8, and say OK. I can then perform my financial transactions with my check-in and check-out and print out my rental agreement to the customer. Next, we'll look at service orders. And a service order is just that. Think of that as a work order for the service representatives out in the field. In this particular case, this service order was developed for a touchy derailleur to be repaired. I can see all of the general information about that. And this is also available on the mobile device for those field service reps, which we'll show here at the end. You can see who the customer is, how the billing is worked, whether it's under warranty or if it will be billed, any deposits that may be required. And I can see who's scheduled to work on that service order. You can see here I have multiple partners or service representatives available to work on that. And I can see what the line items are for this particular bicycle. I have projects listed here just as a reference because we can tie a service order to a project as part of that overall project cost if you're using projects. Let's take a look at some service consoles. First one is an incident queue console. Think of this as your call center and someone manning the phones taking calls from customers with incidents, or perhaps an incident is even reported through your Microsoft Outlook email with our CloudSuite Industrial plugin, which can turn an email into an incident. I can see all of my listed incidents, and in my demo database, of course, they're all late. I can take ownership of an incident and try to resolve it. I can dispatch it to a partner. I can create transactions, whether it's materials or labor, against those incidents. I could define the unit that the incident may be referring to. And of course, at the end, if I can't resolve the incident on the phone or quickly with a partner on site, I can create an actual service order for it. Incidents also have a knowledge-based search. A quick way, as you're talking with a customer, if they're describing a situation, you can type in some keywords and search those keywords to see if there were other incidents that mentioned those particular keywords. I can take a look at the result set and view what that was in the knowledge base. So it might be a quick fix to someone on the phone that you can explain to them to try to resolve it, or even as a technical representative out in the field, being able to search the knowledge base and see what the solution to some of these issues may be. You also have a service support console. This would be the main console that kind of lists all of your incidents, units, history, service orders, and so on. If we just search, for example, by customer ID, I can see all of the incidents. I can see all of the service orders. I can see any resolutions to incidents. I can see the units that that particular customer owns. I can see any contracts for that customer. Over on the right side, related to service orders, maybe I'm looking at a specific incident. This DI 118, you can see that this incident was turned into a service order, which highlights over here, which becomes that DS90 service order. I can see the unit associated to that incident and service order. And I can also see what the planned material needed for that particular service order is. And in this case, we're replacing a part. Down toward the bottom, I can see what those planned transactions are. That's for when I know what the resolution may be for a replacement part. If not, the service tech out in the field would actually just report parts and materials that he used in the actual resolution of that service order. So I can plan materials and I can plan labor. What do I think the materials that are needed are, and what do I think the labor will take, so that we have a good estimate going into the service order. Down at the bottom, I can see what those costs are, and I can see my materials are going to cost me $125 and labor will cost $120. In this particular case, it's under warranty, so there'll be no price and no margin for it. Back to my home page, we also have the ability to schedule those services. I can look at all the service appointments. You don't need to go there right now. I can do queue scheduling, which basically means I can look at individual partners or service technicians and decide what I want to give them to work on. Or I can do calendar scheduling. So I can look at the calendar for all of my partners, or I can check to see an individual partner's calendar. Here I'm looking at January. If I want to see what that partner has in February, I can look over there. To add appointments, I can come over and look at my what needs to be scheduled list and simply drag and drop onto that partner's calendar. Give it some information that I may need here. Maybe this is an installation, and just say OK. Add it to that partner's calendar. That will show up on their mobile device. We'll see that in a little bit. I also have the ability to look at a map. With the map, I can see all of the different orders that need to be scheduled. And if I was using GPS tracking for my partners, I would be able to see which partners are closest to those particular appointments and be able to schedule it for them. Lastly, we're going to look at the mobile application for service management that the field service representatives may carry around with them. You'll first notice that the status of online allows you to actually work online and be connected when you have a connection. However, when you first start up, or if you're in a situation where you don't have a connection, it does work offline also and does save all of the information you're putting in, and it pulls down all of the last information from the last time you were connected online. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at my appointments. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and notice I have an appointment down here for February 9th, and I have an appointment for February 2nd. I'm going to take a look at this February 2nd order first. And once I'm in here, I can see all kinds of information about this particular service appointment. I can see where the customer is simply by using my map functionality, so I can get directions to go to that customer. I can drill into more specific information about the appointment. I could use my 3 dots over here to see very detailed information. Maybe I want to see the actual lines on that service order to see what it's about. Then I can press that and take a look at that. Notice it has a unit associated with it. If I click the 3 dots next to the unit, I can see information about that unit. Up in the top, I can see I have some notes about it, and I have an attachment for it. So if I click on my notes, for example, I can see that this has a technical service bulletin associated with it. And if I go to my attachments, I can see 2 attachments. One is that technical service bulletin. If I click on that, it'll open up for me in Adobe. The other is just a picture. I can also, going back to my 3 dots in the corner, take a look at the configuration. That shows me the bill of material for this particular unit. So if I'm replacing parts, I can see what parts they are. I can scroll through the entire bill of material. Other information about the line, if I go again to my 3 dots, I might want to say, well, show me the material I need. Right now, it's showing that I have not issued any material to it, but if I wanted to see what material might be suggested for it, if I hit my 3 dots again, it'll show me my planned transactions. So this is showing me those original black seats that need to be replaced. I can click on that and see more information about that and look at my serial numbers available for that. And I can also see that I have an attachment associated there, which is simply a picture of that black seat or whatever documentation you may want. The other thing I can do here with this service order is report time. So if I click on the clock, it'll actually start the time for me and it'll record the time I started. And then when I'm finished with the service transaction, I just click that clock again and it will record actual hours for me. Using the phone's functionality, I can take pictures and associate it with this service order. I can see pictures or select pictures from my photo library. And I can even put my own signature in here or the signature of the customer. So when you're done with the service order, they sign off on whatever total or if it's warranty at 0 and submit. You can create estimates with the mobile application. This was just a highlight of some of the features of service management in Infor CloudSuite Industrial. There's a lot more you can see. Contact us at visualsouth.com to learn more. Thank you for watching.